Good morning. Assalamu alaikum, Excellencies, honorable delegates, and our partner on wellness destination. All lives has been affected by the pandemic, and the sustainable tourism has been hardly hit by the COVID-19. While economic wellness depends highly on tourism, Maldives has been dealing with more than one challenge at a time. From climate changes, to rising sea level, to ocean sustainability, and to COVID-19. With a strong commitment to the environmental wellness, Maldives is one of a few countries that demonstrate the success in hospitality sectors, from social protection to ocean protection. Please allow me to share a very short video from Maldives.
It is difficult times like these that remind us that we are all humans, wanting to cherish every moment that we have, surrounded by the ones we love. During this time, we would like to inspire you to make new stories with more experiences. We think, wonder, and dream of what we cannot explore today, but what awaits tomorrow. Be it cruising the seas, relaxing on a beach under the palm trees, discovering the local life, the colourful underwater, or enjoying a dip by the water villa. We miss having you with us. Just isn't the same. Green now. Visit Maldives soon.
I'd like to thank you, the Maldives Embassy, for sharing this such a very beautiful scenery. And I already shared with His Excellency, the Ambassador, that it is a very bad moment to show Maldives because it's too beautiful. And we are in the wrong place. We are in this room. We wish to be by the beach, right? Please allow, it's an honor for us to invite His Excellency, the Ambassador of the Republic of Maldives, to the Kingdom of Thailand to deliver the opening remarks. Your Excellency, the floor is yours.
That just made me homesick. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Sawadee krab. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. It is a great privilege and honor for me to be here to deliver this opening remarks at the first Wellness Destination Knowledge Forum. My special thanks to the organizers for hosting this event despite the ongoing difficulties of the COVID-19 pandemic situation. The COVID-19 pandemic has been perhaps the most turbulent global event in our collective memory. Like most, if not all, countries around the world, the COVID-19 pandemic has exacerbated our economy's exposure to external shocks. Maldives is notably one of the hardest hit countries in the world by this crisis in terms of its impact on the GDP. The pandemic has not spared any country, big or small, developed or developing. The virus certainly has not respected borders. As the pandemic swept through the world, it has weakened our capacity and ability to build resilience and achieve sustainable development. The unique geography of the Maldives, the low-lying and dispersed nature of our islands, coupled with economic factors such as high import dependency and narrow economic base, make us one of the most vulnerable countries, and the threat of the growing climate crisis poses an existential threat to our people. The COVID-19 pandemic has halted all the progress we were making at achieving many of the sustainable development goals and fulfilling our commitments in the Paris Agreement. The pandemic has magnified our vulnerabilities, thereby affecting our ability to tackle the climate emergency. It is crucial for us to align the recovery initiatives with our climate actions and sustainable development agenda in the post-pandemic recovery efforts. The government of Maldives is focused on emphasizing greener and resilient development initiatives as we build back better. This includes enhancing our adaptation actions to increase resilience of our communities and livelihood. Initiatives such as the Climate Smart Resilient Island Initiative, launched by our President, His Excellency Ibrahim Mohammed Saleh, at the UN Secretary General's Climate Action Summit in 2019, which were then introduced as a way to increase our resilience and reduce vulnerabilities. Our future is inherent on the need to build a greener, bluer, and cleaner economy. Ladies and gentlemen, wellness tourism in the Maldives has been evolving and expanding with the first ever wellness summit in the country hosted by Hotelier Maldives on the 6th of September 2017. This summit brought together leaders in the spa and wellness industry, both from in the country and around the region. This allowed wellness tourism to become part of our national tourism strategies in 2018. As the concept of traveling evolves with greater emphasis on more holistic approaches to wellness and well-being, innovative forms of healing, rejuvenating, and fitness activities are surpassing the traditional spa experience. In the Maldives, as a nation of islands having the sun, sea, and sand, famously known as the sunny side of life, our approach to wellness tourism incorporates nature-based forms of therapies and activities. The diverse offerings of spa treatments, the early morning meditation sessions, taking in the mood-stabilizing negative ions from the beach, breathing in the fresh salt air from the ocean, while surrounded by tranquility and complete serenity, enjoying the natural beauty of the isolated small coral island environment with their lush vegetation. It is indeed a very different experience with a profound effect on oneself, away from the hustle and bustle of the cities and the daily grind. Resorts in the Maldives are investing heavily on wellness tourism. Despite the early misconceptions, tourism operators are offering diverse experiences for travelers seeking complete wellness packages. Collaborating with internationally acclaimed holistic and wellness experts to offer authentic spa experiences touching on ancient principles of Ayurveda and bespoke fitness and rehabilitation retreats are being offered in the Maldives. This allows our guests to truly rejuvenate the body and reboot the mind while enjoying the sunny side of life. The wellness industry in the Maldives is evolving towards a more innovative and comprehensive phase, offering deeper healing and wellness benefits for mind, body, and soul through connecting with nature. Ladies and gentlemen, 2020 was notably the most disruptive year for all of us. Global tourism was booming at the beginning of the year, and targets for the year were being set optimistically. Since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, economic activities were halted, from the small retailers to the major airlines, affecting everyone around the world. Borders were closed, and traveling soon became redundant. The Maldives, being a destination heavily dependent on the tourism industry for primary and secondary economic activities, the devastation was imminent. With the decline in arrivals, the economic shock was felt deeply by the whole country. Our thriving travel and tourism operations came to a complete standstill. On the 27th of March 2020, with the first local case of community spread confirmed in the capital, for the first time in our tourism history since 1972, Maldives closed its borders for all international tourists. Despite having no experience of a similar outbreak in the recent history of the country, we have strived to manage the pandemic by allowing health professionals to take the leading role and followed the guidelines set forth by the World Health Organization and our national health agencies. The tourism industry strives diligently to implement various measures to ensure the safety of our guests as well as the service staff and to minimize the risk of transmission. The Maldives adopted a multi-sectoral, unified approach to deal with the crisis and made the courageous decision to open our borders on the 15th of July 2020 to all travelers from around the world. Strict safety measures and protocols were put in place, and the Maldives was fortunate to end the month with almost 1,700 tourist arrivals. This number kept increasing, with more tourists visiting and new markets emerging for our tourism-dependent small island nation. Remarkably, we welcomed our 100,000th tourists since the reopening of the border on the 12th of December 2020. A mere 1 week later, on the 17th of December 2020, our revised annual tourist arrival target of 500,000 was reached. The Maldives, being an island nation, the natural concept of one island, one resort allows travelers privacy and physical distancing quite well, with a sense of safety. An ideal concept for a safe and secluded, holistic vacation experience. The requirement of a negative PCR test result by all travelers obtained prior to their departure to the Maldives, with no mandatory quarantine requirement upon arrival in the Maldives, makes it an easy to go to as well as a safe destination for tourists, while being relatively secure for the industry employees as well as the local communities. It has surely bettered the expectations and forecasts of the optimists. Back in September 2020, Maldives was placed second among those ranked most Googled destination for post-lockdown holidays by ESTA, Electronic System for Travel Authorization. And in November 2020, Maldives received the world's leading destination award at the grand final of the World Travel Awards 2020. And most recently, in February, an article on CNN Travel boasts the headline which states how the Maldives became the biggest 2020 international tourism success story for a very small and tiny nation in the world. This is a huge achievement. We begin the year 2021 with great hope and expectation, filled with optimism. COVID-19 may have devastated the world economy, causing immeasurable damage and trauma, adversely affecting our well-being. But it has also been a wake-up call that has forced us to rethink our way of life on this planet. There is good reason for hope. Vaccinations have begun around the globe. World economies that were brought to a halt are now slowly picking up. In a new normal, while we work to revive businesses and restore livelihoods, we must focus on making the growth as green as possible, as resilient as possible, and as sustainable as possible. Respect for nature, its resources, and living within our means must be an integral part of our lifestyle, and protection of the environment will then follow naturally. Governments need to capitalize on digitalization, emphasize transition to low carbon emission, and promote the structural transformation needed to build a stronger, more sustainable and resilient tourism economy for post-pandemic recovery. Only then can we become the true trustees of the rich natural wealth for future generations. On the 4th of March, last week, we recorded over 200,000 arrivals for the year 2020. So we're looking ahead very optimistic. Before I conclude, my best wishes to the organizers and the participants of this forum. My sincere hope for this initiative to be a beginning for a successful journey ahead. Thank you very much.